My traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, the dawn is breaking on the stage that holds our final destiny. And so my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, don't dream it, be it. Because the show must go on. And on today's episode, do you read Sutter Kane? If not, let me tell you all about it. So this is a slightly different episode. It is like, I forgot what they call them, a very special episode of All in the Family, right, where we talk about issues. It is in no way like one of the issues sitcoms where we deal with like eating disorders or bullying, but this read is going with a slightly different theme. Instead of just a general reading that's just an overall general reading, this reading and readings that will be like it are geared more towards creators of some sort. And I know we are all creators in this world, but this is specifically for people who are working in creative fields, people who are producing artwork, people maybe working on their social media presences, people who are writing, people who are entrepreneurs, people who are really putting themselves out there creatively in a big way. These readings are meant to support and guide them for their careers or things that they just want to do personally, because we could have some budding creators who feel like maybe they can't create. Yes, you can. And don't allow, if you can manage, if you see someone who you really look up to for their skill set or whatever, we do have differences in talent and natural ability and skill. And for a lot of these other people, for whatever reason, perhaps they've been doing things like much longer than you have. And also we try not to get into the hierarchy of one mark over another. There are very, very different sorts of, especially visual art, that have a different sort of value no matter what they look like. And I would pull out like two different, I don't feel like doing a deck comparison right now, but there are different artworks on different decks that maybe seem like more simplistic or not as skilled in the rendering as another deck, but yet they speak very deeply to me and to other people, and they serve specific purposes. So just because maybe you aren't rendering like your favorite animator or sequential artist, that does not mean that your art is bad, that you are not skilled, that you do not have value. And so what I see under the deck here is people who have been working for a very long time and perhaps have been dealing with a lot of struggle. And that could be personal struggle or just external obstacles. It was looking like the Three of Swords. So Three of Swords is going to tend to be more self-doubt or like that comparison thing. Like, I've been working so long and I'm not where I want to be. My skill set isn't where like this person's is. It struggles like that. But what I'm definitely seeing is that whoever I'm speaking to has been doing what they've been doing for a very long time. They are dedicated to it. They have likely an incredible amount of discipline and stick-to-itiveness. And from what I'm seeing under the deck, or what I saw under the deck, because I shuffled after I looked under there, and what I'm seeing currently on here with the oracles is that whatever this is that you are working on, it is going to pay off. And perhaps if you are someone who tends to want to effort to like kind of force something, it's possible, though I'm not sure, that you might want to try like not forcing, or if it's not creating, it's like maybe trying something a little bit different, creating something like outside of your wheelhouse to get things flowing again. Because what I have here is the Three of Wands. So Three of Wands is typically some kind of incoming result, but that is due to the fact that the person who is on the Three of Wands has already taken a lot of action. If we were in the Two of Wands, that's a decision-making process because there is an additional action that must be taken. In the Three of Wands, we've taken all necessary action, and now we must wait for the return. That is the resting period where we are not like efforting or forcing the thing to come in, for the manifestation to happen. It's just an issue of, can you be patient a little bit? Can you relax? And so like this Queen of Cups after our Three of Wands is also suggesting creative relaxation, or getting back in touch with yourself creatively through doing something different creatively. There's just something about that. Like there's something about, for whatever it is that you're like intending to manifest or intending to create, all of the necessary actions have been done. You're waiting for a return. But if like doing absolutely nothing creatively makes you feel weird, or you prefer not to do it because you will fall out of the habit, yes, do take creative action, but maybe try something you've never tried before, or do something more casually. Like if you are a serious painter, a serious renderer, maybe go to like a silly like wine and painting event. Or instead of rendering everything yourself, go pick up a coloring book, a really complex adult coloring book, and just color. Or like maybe try embroidery instead of painting, whether you're doing that with like a physical medium like oil paints or pastels, Copic markers, or you're working more digitally. And if you're working more digitally, get more like physical. Do something with sculpture, do something with writing, or even with your body with performance. And if you are more physical, maybe get a little bit more abstract. Get a little bit more, like you might want a video game actually, get into the 2D and see how things like that play out. Because what I see here is this Ace of Cups, which is either if you've been feeling frustrated with how you've been feeling creatively or about the results of your creativity, this is just a natural phase of the process. Like we're not going to be feeling great about everything all the time. We're not going to be in this eternal abundance phase. And so when those like kind of down times come, it's sort of like not getting attached to the fact that that's how it's always going to be. Typically, like the cycle just like continues and repeats. So you're going to go through a lean cycle or a down cycle, and then you're going to catch your flow again and be very productive, or be getting more manifestations in the real world, whatever it is. But what I'm seeing here across the board is that there is something positive happening here, whether that's like a direct manifestation from the work that you've already taken, or whether that is simply an extremely positive shift in your mood and attitude about your creative work, or in fact an increase in productivity because you've gotten into this more flow space with yourself, which like, that's very much like, go easy on yourself if you know that you're someone who tends to be like hypercritical. You might be running yourself down. So let's go ahead and look at this Three of Wands. Our something's incoming. And the page of Wands, that's something that like, that to me is the ship, and I got an intuitive yes on that. That is the ship coming in, but it seems like pages are relatively small. Our Page of Wands is a herald of the Queen and King of Wands, but it's sort of like the King and Queen aren't quite here. So it's almost like you're gonna start seeing it come in. It might be like a trickle, but don't like, when you see something small that's positive for you, like depending on your expectations, you can be like, oh, well, yes, that small thing, but like it's not the success that this person over here had. It's sort of like you're discounting, or we're discounting what positive is here because it wasn't positive enough or big enough, and that kind of kills the momentum of that creative flow energy. So just like, if you do see something positive coming in, even if it is small, recognize it, appreciate it, because in that way, just the recognition and appreciation is allowing that thing to grow. So our Queen of Cups, the Fool, this is like, whatever this news is, whatever that page is, I think it's going to contribute to making you a lot happier. But if this is just you taking a positive creative action in like a different direction for yourself, it's going to bring you back into that space of creating for fulfillment's sake, doing something just because it makes you happy. And when you get back into that, like, you end up sort of more effortlessly creating the result that you want, because you no longer need the result. I would, like, if it was me, I would ask myself, are we super attached to some sort of expected result of this work? Is that what we're placing our identity on or within? Or are we actually just enjoying the process for what it is? Is that where we are? And if you've gotten, it's normal to like move into that space of like, I can't stand this language, but it's like, you want to 10x your process. You want to 10x your result. Like, if we're more into that, that is something that can most definitely drain you, especially if you are a creative. Like, that kind of mentality, it's not that it can't be beneficial for people who are making their living being creators, because that does tend to require a certain amount of productivity and, yes, efficiency. But that sort of 1 + 1 = 2, therefore 2 to the 10th power is this. That's more for people who are working in like more objective fields, that like, I don't know, it's not that coding and things like that aren't an art form. They very much are, but that is something that is way more, I would guess, efficiency and results based than something more exploratory like this. Efficiency, like, that can kind of be the death knell of like a truly creative thing. Like, creativity needs space to breathe. And so if you're always looking to like 10x something or like become more efficient and everything else, that is like squeezing to death the thing that you are looking to encourage to flourish, because even that language is very different. I am encouraging my creativity to flourish rather than I'm looking to 10x my results. Like, it's very, very different. So this Ace of Cups, Knight of Wands, whatever that is, it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, finally. It's like someone handing you a cup of water in the desert. And that could be someone else, as a matter of fact. I don't know. This is something like, because the Queen of Cups with the Ace of Cups, it could be that you're handing something or something that you do, you're going to have like a tangible recognition that something that you have produced has like perhaps like helped someone get through something, and that is very rewarding in and of itself. If we're not talking about something like money, you could hear from somebody that like something you wrote or a piece of your art or a meme or a video game that you made really like helped somebody through something particularly rough for them. Like, you may have been someone's consistent serotonin for a while, you know? Like, that's a really true thing, that when people are going through stuff, just someone being consistent on social media or consistent in their creative output that they're doing somehow publicly, people will sit back and think like, well, I know this person is going to be like producing something today, and like I'll be able to see what they're doing, and that somehow gives me support for me to be able to get up and keep going, because at least I'm going to get to see like this person again today. At least I'm going to get to see what they're doing. And then eventually they won't need that much support anymore once they kind of come out of that more like 9 of Wands situation. So our page of 7 of Swords, this is taking a turn. Oh, right, hold on, let me see. There is somebody or something with that Page of Wands. Either this is something that like, there's somebody who's already like made a judgment call about you, because I have this judgment like 7 of Swords, and it's like you haven't seen it yet. They haven't told you about this yet, which is why like the overriding energy is in that 3 of Wands. It's something that you are waiting to come in. It's gonna come in, and it's like whoever that is or whatever that is has actually already made their decision, and they made it seemingly a while back, but it's like they haven't said anything about why this. Why this clandestine energy? Why have they not said anything yet, whoever this is? Okay, so it's a King of Pentacles. This is not y'all. This is somebody else, like, in the material world. So it is telling me that there's, like, a material thing that is coming in, but that's not telling me, like, why they haven't said anything yet. It's something that they're doing, Six of Swords. There's, like, something that they have to do. Oh, it's something that they have to do financially, like, so there's whatever that Six of Swords is, whatever transition that this person is in, it's sort of like that is requiring their full attention right now, and perhaps like something to do with finances as well. So this person, whoever they are, yeah, the moon, whoever they are, they simply they do not quite have the ability to like do whatever it is or say whatever it is they want to say to you right now because of whatever this is like a life transition. It's like personal business, because I also have the moon here, which is reinforcing like the Six of Swords and the Four of Coins is the reason why this person has not made themselves known to you yet. It's almost like they don't have the spoons. They have to put all of their attention and focus on this personal issue that they're going through before they can come and talk to another person about something else. So this would be like, oh God, I want to do like an artistic example, but I'll get a gallery owner. Okay, so let's say there's a gallery owner who's looking to take on and feature new artists in their gallery and have like an upcoming season of new shows. If that's not the way you talk about it, I'm so sorry. I don't like, the only kind of like big creative thing that I know most about is publishing, but I don't want to always just give publishing examples. So let's say they want to do that, right? But unfortunately, perhaps like their parents passed away, or they're going through a really serious divorce or like major illness or something like that. So they very much want to do these things with their business, but there's so much like required of them in a different area of their life that they can't dedicate themselves into expanding their creative business to bring in new people. All they can do is keep that business afloat while they handle this thing. And then once that thing is taken care of, then they can come back. So that's kind of the situation that I'm talking about. So let's see, this Queen of Cups and the Fool. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if it's like whenever this person is going to eventually come and talk to you with this Knight of Swords and Ten of Cups, that this is what's going to put you in this like better mood. Though I would say, while the read might also encourage and support you, I would say like take this Knight of Swords as like different ideas, taking different creative action, maybe a little bit more determinedly on some different avenues for your creativity to kind of produce a more enriching experience for yourself. So we're not like totally dependent on some sort of outside thing. Like you can have agency over that without whatever this other person is dealing with. Yes, Two of Pentacles. You have agency. If you shift things around a little bit through what you're doing and what you're thinking, you can probably feel a lot better about your process, or just in general, like your mood will become more open. That's just like a more fulfilling experience in general. Whoa. So whoever is down here with this Ace of Cups, Nine of Wands, this is like an embattled person. Like Nine of Wands, Five of Swords. Is this the collective? I got the intuitive no, but I'll wait for the card. Whoop. No, so we've got this Seven of Pentacles. This is kind of like, I don't know, someone else dealing with like a long-term thing. I would guess it's potentially that King of Pentacles. I'm not sure. Like, what is this? Oh. Well, yeah, our Emperor. Okay, the Emperor is usually fairly strongly linked to me, to that, like to the King of Pentacles in general. But we have like somebody who is the Emperor here. I don't know if they've been dealing with something in like a marriage or another relationship, or whatever this personal thing is, this long-term personal thing, it has prevented them from getting into any other creative partnerships, beneficial creative partnerships with any other person. But the cup is there. They will be offering this. It's just a matter of like, they need to center themselves, right? You know, it's not all about the collective, unfortunately. Yes, Knight of Cups. So it's sort of like, this is just kind of like Eight of Cups. It's like this person is like slowly wrapping up their situations and things like it, like whoever this is, and then after that they are going to come in to talk to y'all about something, and then y'all in this center column are just encouraged to like take some agency over your feelings about your own creative process. And do ask yourself if maybe you just need a flat out break or vacation of doing something completely else. So let me see here. What do I want to ask? I'll ask a little bit about this person, I guess. I'm getting a yes on that. So there's something else that wants to come out about them. So I will just kind of go with what the cards want to say instead of what I want to ask. So let's give it a shuffle. What is it that either this person would like for the collective to know, or what the greater forces would? Oh, okay. All right. Knight of Pentacles, it's sort of like, hang in there. It's just sort of like, I don't know, like, especially if you've been hearing other reads say similar stuff and you're like, yeah, I've been hearing that for the past, like, I don't know however long, and it still hasn't happened. The Knight of Pentacles is kind of like, we know. We know. You can't really control timelines. Three of Swords. And like I said, whatever this person is going through, it is something significant. Five of Cups. Okay, yeah, so that's why. It's sort of like the reason why this is going on is because whoever this person is, we are talking about a long-term Three of Swords, Five of Cups situation. Whatever this is, it is something that this person has been dealing with, like I'm hearing, for years. And they've been like getting through it like bit by bit. But if it is this much of a struggle, and especially if this Two of Cups is representing some sort of like partner, because that could be, if that's a partner of theirs, like I mean like a more, because I'm talking about this more as a creative partnership between you and this person. But if this person is dealing with something like either divorce with a spouse, or unfortunately, you know, major illness and passing of a spouse, it's sort of like the person needs to get through that particular major life event, and then they need to deal with the fallout. They need to take care of themselves. So we're going around again. Which is why, you know, we need to get into focusing on what we have now, because this is the sort of issue where like the world doesn't revolve around us. Yes, if we're thinking of like source energy or whatever being something of compassion and loving you, yes, of course, but as far as each of us individually being the most important thing in the universe, no. And this is exactly an example of why. Ace of Pentacles with this Knight of Pentacles. So I don't know if that means like this person's goal is in sight, or it's, okay, this is a lot. This Three of Swords. What's going on? I think it's more just like this person's goal, like that Ace of Pentacles is more talking about like a shift of energy, because like we're going from this Three of Swords to Page of Pentacles, the Sun, and Justice, which is just like a major transition. So this person is going to be able, because I think whatever this is that they want to do with y'all, it's going to shake them out of whatever, like help them shake out of whatever that past situation was. which I'm really not getting any information on that. So probably it's super personal business. I will pull a card on that too. Whoa, I'm eating chunks. This is like the end of a marriage or something. So like this person does some sort of creative work, something, and I got 10 of Swords, 4 of Wands, the Empress, and this person is already showing as the Emperor. The end of this person's marriage or major relationship with an extremely long-term partner is interfering with their creative work or the work that they want to do. So, I mean, that, like, I'm not even, like, I'll pull one card on that 2 of Cups, but I'm not even getting into the dirty details of what's going on with that person. The 2 of Cups is actually more about the creative, like the Magician with the Page of Cups. That's a creative partnership. That's whatever they want to do with y'all. It's not involving any type of like romantic relationship. So, but whatever this project is or whatever y'all will be doing together as business partners, that is going to help them shake off the remnants of like whatever, unfortunately, that ending was. And I wasn't getting death from that 10 of Swords. I was getting more like divorce from it. Though, I mean, that is very painful too. So let's go ahead and move on to our final advice outcome. And before I do, if you have benefited from the channel and you do have anything to give back, I have a link down below for House of TULIP. House of TULIP is a local nonprofit created and run by trans and gender nonconforming people of color, and House of TULIP's mission is to support houseless trans and gender nonconforming youth to get them homes, toiletries, clothes, job opportunities, and everything that they would need to move them from a space of surviving to thriving within loving, supportive community. So our final advice outcome. So frustrating, I know, but I'm just like, this person's burdened, whoever they are. They super want to take action. They super do. Knight of Wands, 3 of Cups. This is like fruitful, wonderful, creative chemistry, like creating a bunch of things. They want to come over here and do that. We get the Hermit and the Hanged Man. That's what they want to do. They can't do it right now. Why? Because of circumstance. The Wheel of Fortune. There are major events that need to cycle through in this person's life before they can participate in this. Is there any sort of timeline that the collective can have here? I got the intuitive no, but I got it. God said, look, God's plan. God's plan, not our plan, and there is no forcing this person through this. There is no speeding up the timeline. It is simply continue to do what you do, because the intention is very strong here, and it's not any sort of recalcitrance or dragging feet or whatever on this person's part. It is simply, that is how life goes, unfortunately. But that does not mean you cannot be enjoying life, just because whoever this person is who would be giving some sort of like significant boost to your process simply cannot come in yet. So let's go ahead and close with the Son and the Father. All right, getting some Jesus on it. All right, Jesus says, the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. The Son, well, that's you. In case you didn't know, right? You are the Son of Man. You are the greatest magician of the age and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. So while I understand feeling low about certain things, maybe if you're not feeling the way that you would like to feel or seeing certain things with your creative process that you would like to see, that does get frustrating. It can affect your mood. I do absolutely understand that and empathize with it. We all go through it. However, you don't really want to get entrenched in that. And so if you're like I'm saying, don't cover anything up, like recognize why you're feeling that way and allow that to maybe simply be, right? Don't try and force yourself out of a situation, but you can take some action day to day to coax yourself in a different direction. If your little internal systems are ready to shift out of that, okay? So the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost, that's us. We are the Son of Man. We came to seek and find ourselves, okay? And if you want to rely on Jesus or the forces or your patrons, please go ahead and do that as well. Maybe petition them for some energetic support. Jesus also says, whoever believes has eternal life. So just because you are not seeing something in materiality does not mean it is never going to be there for you. But that personal belief, that personal faith in yourself that you are doing something of value, even if it is only for your own personal and creative development, as long as you have that, then you're always in general going to be able to return to fulfillment and happiness, regardless of whatever the physical manifestations currently look like. Jesus also finally says, my Father's will is that everyone who looks to the Son and believes in him shall have eternal life. This is hardcore. Have faith in yourself. Turn inward, especially if you have been focused on the external stuff lately with like results and what your skills look like and what this person's social media looks like and all that stuff. That is fine and normal, but if you've been noticing yourself doing it a lot, come back inward. Maybe take a social media break if it's something like that and just focus on what you are doing. So we shall, of course, close with the highest authority. And that highest authority, of course, being Bob, our Father who art in heaven. We close with the word of Bob that is good all the time. And of course, Bob is a great creator, creating all the time, every day. And I think even Bob became creator posthumously. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but it can be very true. And I know like H.P. Lovecraft is kind of like a look for some people example. But H.P. Lovecraft is thought of as one of the greatest change agents of horror, developed like this whole other like style of horror with like others at the time, right? But like, he wasn't recognized for that in his day. It was only later. It was only later that people recognized his contributions to the field of commercial horror, science fiction, as something extremely significant and relevant, and that he's gone on to influence all of these other people. That did not happen when he was alive. So let's go ahead and see what Bob has to say. Bob says, son of a gun. That's a pretty nice tree for being done that quick. So I'm willing to bet that some of this is a little bit mental. I think likely maybe because your focus may be somewhere else, or looking constantly maybe or consistently at maybe what hasn't happened for you yet. You have not recognized how far you've come and in how short of amount of time. So maybe you spend some time, if you're like a visual artist or something like it, look at your progress from 3 to 6 months ago to now with your rendering. And if you can do anything like that with whatever it is that you're doing, how far have you come and in how much time? Even if you're like not at where you even imagine where you want to be, because you actually don't know what's going on with those people like at all. Bob also says, just go out and talk to a tree, make friends with it. This is change up the routine. This is change up what you're doing creatively, just do something to do it. This is like, I know we're all like wanting to be very, very dedicated to our processes and everything, but it's just like, no, just, you need to go talk to the flowers, okay? Just please be whimsical and free. Unburden yourself from whatever this is. Because feeling this way, right, trying to force something that you cannot force is actually not going to get you there any faster, and it is going to also tend to make you feel very miserable. So go out and run around with the squirrels and the chickens, okay? Bob finally says, I look forward to seeing you again. Happy painting. God bless, my friend. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's not going anywhere. Go take a break, go experiment with some other sort of creative process, and then return once you're feeling more of that verve for whatever it is. So, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, this is reality, and I am your GM, your game master for this, the game of life. I'm also, of course, the greatest magician of the age and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. And together, you and I will perform the greatest magic trick of all time. We will reverse the polarities of the world. Make America great for once. Fly this boat to the moon somehow. Shift our world onto the mega happy timeline, perhaps leaving it a much better place than it ever has been before. Because we are, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, crawling on the planet's face. Some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space. End meaning.